Alright, hello everyone. So, gonna be continuing the tutorial series with episode 2 here. One thing I didn't talk about in the previous episode is about languages in Life Lore. So I've currently timed 7 of the languages. It was previously assumed that the language doesn't matter, but I've disproved that, so I've been going through all of them. And for episode 1 that we just played in, Dutch is the fastest language. Then episode 2 here, the language I'm currently on, German, is the fastest. But Finnish is basically just as fast. But yeah, I did attempt to record this earlier on, but I lost recording, so I'm gonna give it another shot. One thing that you're going to notice we're going to use the train tracks a lot, because it's very fast to grind on those rails to move around. Just like last time, I'm gonna show right here the exact position you spawn in here. You spawn about here in relation to the hideout, with the camera positioned like this. So most of the time when we go out of the hideout, we're just gonna go up left and then up, which we are in this case as well. So then you just skip the cinematic, and then here you spawn here, so you hold a bit right here. Jump out. Grind on the rail for a bit. Press circle to activate that cutscene and skip the cinematic. And here hold upright, so you don't run off. Then grind on the rail again. Activate that one. And here you're gonna hold upright again. And if you jump right and paraglide correctly, I didn't quite do it right, but you can make it to the opposite side there, like that, without ledge grabbing or anything, which is nice. I'm gonna once again go off the rail. Head over to this poster over here. Skip the cinematic. Hold upright. It's more up than right. Then I'm gonna go up on this rail here. Paraglide a little bit and then spire jump over to the train track here. Then here, to make sure you don't get a bad landing, make sure you flash the paraglider like I did there. Then here, you're gonna have to run backwards after this because you spawn like this. You wanna run over here. And we're gonna go up here, over this house. One thing to note is that even though this looks open, so that you'd think that cutting the corner here is good, there it actually worked. Wait, it's... yeah, here we go. Here. For some reason, the friggin' hitbox of these banners are extended really far. So like, you can push your way through here, but yeah, it's kind of tight, so make sure you keep that in mind when running past here, so you don't get stuck on this invisible wall from here. Like, I can't go down here even though it's super open. Then hold up left here, coming out, so you run up the hill. And then, unlike all the other posters, there's gonna be 2 cutscenes we're gonna skip. One for the post cutscene, and then one cutscene where Bentley explains about the next part of the job, which is to steal the lollipop. So hold up left here, or up then left. Just for pretty much all of these, where it's been up right or up left, it's more up than to the side. And then here, once again, use the train track. It's the fastest way to get around this hub, for the most part. At least with Sly and Tennessee, you can actually grind on them. Then here you're gonna go up. And then over, you gonna go over this thing, so you're gonna want to single jump here and then double jump here. You can do it without ledge grabbing like I did there. Now ledge grab this one. I've showed both of them now without ledge grab, that's good enough. But yeah, so then from here, you're gonna want to paraglide over to this platform here, and then jump up here into the cutscene. Skip it. Then you're gonna spawn like this, so hold the right and double jump paraglide, and if you do it optimally, you can spire jump onto this nail, and thus get up here a bit faster. Then you have this section. You want to walk like this, because if you spire up, you get way too far. It just ends up taking you too far, so it's not worth it at all to go for that. Just walk over to the banners and let them. Yeah, it's a pretty long cutscene here, so I'm gonna meet you at the end of it. So once you come out of the load here, you're just gonna select Bentley. There's no menuing or anything like that. Nothing special for full game in getting any gadgets or anything like that. And once again, out of the hideout, like last time, we're gonna be going up left first, then go down to the train track. If you got the 500 loot in Paris in full game, you're gonna be using adrenaline burst a little bit here, obviously. It's Bentley to move around a bit faster. And here you want to stay close to the job trigger, because here there's not a cutscene or anything, it starts immediately. And for some reason, even though it restarts the checkpoint, kind of, if you're too far away or like turn the wrong way or something like that, it doesn't spawn you optimally. So you want to just stay on the job trigger, pointed in the direction that you're supposed to be pointed. Yeah, you can just single jump those and then go into the trigger here. You do not actually open the binoculcom, and you cannot take these photos without going into these triggers. So you can't pull any sneaky photos here, unfortunately. But yeah, you start like this and then you just go up right, or up left. Let's zoom in. I was thinking right, because I have it inverted, but it was down right for me to go up left. And yeah, here it's gonna be from the opposite side, but still below, so go up right this time instead of up left. And then here you go down up left, you do this swing right here, not for the second fall, but for the first fall, because if you do it normally, it's gonna be another one of these bad landings. See here, a little bit of shockwave there. Whereas here, you can just keep going. Then you're gonna slope jump up here. Just keep running over to this trigger and go up and zoom in. No need to go to any of the sides there, just straight up. Now you're into the prison section. And you're, as very frequently in this game, gonna be instantly greeted by a cutscene that you need to skip. And then you want to walk straight forward immediately to get closer to this window. Smack it down. Just fall straight down. Then skip cutscene once again. And then here you want to be spamming L2 to get out of the costume.
Okay, kids,
just like the samurai costume, it's very slow. This one is even slower, so yeah. You want to avoid moving in the costume as much as possible. Even just very small differences, it's very small distances, it's faster to just go out of costume, run that little distance, and then swap back than it is to just walk it. It's insanely slow. Then over here, these spiders are typically quite annoying. I got them all in one single sweep there, so that made it look easier. But like trying to costume here right after a swing takes forever, and usually you don't kill them all in one swing. So even though going into the costume will kill them, like with the ball dropping, it doesn't really help because I'm spamming L2 here. It took that long. See there? It took forever. But yeah, here, just run into the corner to go to the next section. Hopefully that spiders weren't too annoying for you. And then spam L2 here once again. This time to get into... Okay, don't keep spamming it. This time was to get into the costume so we can push this thing. And once again, skip in a cutscene. We're only gonna push one of these carts. Then this spotlight you don't need to care about. Spotlights are merely a suggestion in this game. Then here you want to jump on top of this lid here. In case you get stuck in between this barrel and the wall, make sure you paraglide immediately to get out of there. Otherwise you'll destroy the barrel. But yeah, other than that, you should just double jump paraglide and get up here and push it in. Then you can skip the cutscene, which will put you right in front of the next trigger over here, instead of all the way over there. So just run straight forward. And here, it's gonna take a while before you can skip the cutscene. You can skip it like right there, even if you spam start. Then here, spam L2, get into the costume. The reason why that's very important here is because this cycle is kind of tight. So if you don't spam the costume out of the load, you're probably not gonna make it. Yeah, grab some coins there if you're doing full game, otherwise you can do it if it doesn't really matter. Have to wait for these other flame cycles, unfortunately. Down here, once again, run into a trigger and skip cutscene, as usual. And here I spam the costume immediately. Doesn't really seem to matter, from what I can tell, whether you're rolling on this ball or whether you're running. I could be wrong about that, but doesn't seem to be a big speed difference at all. Yeah, here, swap out of the costume. Skip cutscene once again. Now run up left, more up than left. And you're gonna complete this puzzle in this order to make it go faster. And after this puzzle over here, we're gonna have the hardest strat in this episode coming up. There is an alternative to it that's like about 10 seconds slower, I think. But I haven't personally done it. So I'm just gonna put a clip in the description of someone else doing it instead. But yeah, you're gonna be spawning here, but you're not gonna be going forward as intended. You're gonna go to the side here and paraglide over to this pipe here and land ideally in the middle of it, right here. One thing to note is that you're gonna be sliding off it, so you need to jump off it immediately. So, jumping over here. I landed on the left side, which meant it was still possible if I kept the paraglider up a little bit longer, but I released it too soon. As you saw, the second jump was kind of hard to make because I landed on the left side of the pipe. Do yourself a lot of favors by making sure you land in the middle of the pipe, because the second jump is a lot easier then. So yeah, ideally you land somewhere here, and then you turn around, and you paraglide over here. Ideally ledge grabless. I did it a bit awkwardly there. I tried to like go into the costume and just straight up go there immediately, but it's not possible as far as I can tell. So you have to go over here, push that thing, and roll on the ball over here on the button. And this one, you watch the cutscene, it's super fast as you can see. Get out of the costume, Go over to this cage, get it over, and then run into the end trigger. Here we have a pretty long cutscene, so I'm gonna meet you at the end of it. So coming back into the hideout here, you're gonna be greeted by one of these animated cutscenes. Just press circle to skip it, and then select Bentley to do Cooper for hire. This is gonna be one of the other main spots for getting a lot of coins grinded up outside of the Pretty in Pinker Murray dance for full game. Both in the auto-scroller following Toothpick and a little bit in the Tennessee section. So here, run up left, jump down to the side here, cancel the fall. I'm gonna run over this rail track over here, and this is one of the job triggers where you must not press start upon hitting it. Do not ever fucking do it. It is a consistent hard lock. Run into it, don't press start, press circle to skip the PowerPoint. Yeah, here. If you don't see this guy's spotlight, you can go up immediately on the right side. If you see his spotlight, then you have to wait for him a little bit. Yeah. As you see there, this guy has a blue belt buckle. I've been theorizing some alternative routes that does pick up the blue belt buckle, but I haven't fully timed it. But I'm gonna be posting on the Discord soon about that. But the current routes don't pick up any other loots than the one in Paris for full game. Yeah, usually looting isn't worth it since it takes such a long time, especially with R1 tapping not existing in this game. And the gadgets don't save a lot of time at all. So it's typically not worth it to be looting. But here, this is an auto-scroller, right? So you're gonna be losing a lot less time from getting those loots. So it might still be worth it for being able to get some better gadgets. That's what I'm looking into. But yeah. The rest of this, you just follow him around. Nothing special, either in full game or episode runs. You just sneak up here, and then you can just stand behind this box for the rest here. All of the remaining distance he's gonna go, you're close enough. And here the game's gonna fade to black, and you're gonna skip this cutscene. And you're gonna immediately aim towards the right here. Because first Scorpion spawn there, and then over to the left, then to the right again, and then to the left, and this time left twice. The order of the Scorpion spawns here is gonna be right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left. So twice you're gonna be going back and forth between them, and then you're going to be staying on the left side. Scorpions on the left side spawn a lot faster. There are more scorpions that come from that side. And then here we're gonna be doing, if you're practicing episode runs, the first tank hack, but the second tank hack overall in the game. So I want to explain one thing here. You saw me wait there, but you can actually move in the load in every tank hack. So I wanted to show off where you're positioned at the start. You're positioned here, right? So you want to be holding down right and then go around right. You can go past those balls by like going back and forward like this. You can actually skip the balls coming up here in speeder as well, but it's a lot harder. I wasn't quite able to do it. you need a very, very good turn, because as you can notice from driving the speeder, it's a lot faster than the green turtle thing, but it has awful acceleration. So it's very hard to get past those red balls. Then here, as you can see with its key, if you're carrying it in the same direction you're going, it's close, and if you're carrying it away from you, it's further away. And if you shift between them, the key bounces away. So what you want to do is you want to be going towards the lock with the key towards the lock, and then bounce away early by turning around early. Then here, these cycles are constant, and I waited a lot, so these are way different cycles, and you're gonna be getting in runs probably. But you'll get used to the cycles there eventually. The cycles don't matter a lot there. So there is worth noting that after this lock right here, there is typically a cycle where if you squeeze through here, you can go straight through here and straight through here without waiting. Because I was waiting a lot, I didn't get that cycle, but that's the thing. And then here, turn early to bounce the key into the lock, as before. Here, don't waste time shooting that thing. It's both a waste of time, and if you get it down to only one of those blocks remaining, it's actually harder to deal with it, because instead of just shooting normal shots, it starts shooting burst shots that are a lot harder to avoid. So it's just a bad thing in general if you're trying to stay alive. Try and kill that tank. In here, get the last red balls away, and then once again bounces the key by turning early, and then go straight into the lock here. And right after the attack, it's gonna be a bit of a cutscene, so I'm gonna meet you back inside of the vault. Alright, so coming in here, you're gonna be greeted by another cutscene, so skip it, and then in full game you're gonna want to farm coins here immediately. So go to the side here, do the bits systematically by bringing those up and collecting the coins, then destroying all of that, getting all the coins, and then you can shoot very close here. So immediately upon the vault opening you can run being very close here. Then this cutscene you don't skip. Skippable, but it loses time. So shoot a lock. And then here, if the spiders are in a position where they'll hit you, do not hit them. Because it will always, or pretty much always at least, from like every time I've attempted it at least, I've always somehow, some way, by some kind of magic, hit those TNT barrels. It makes no sense, but somehow those TNT barrels are so easy to hit, even if you're anywhere close. So do not do that. Just skip the cutscene here. And in the load, you want to be holding R2 to go into the Deadeye of Tennessee immediately. And I typically aim down, because if you look here where you start kind of there, so I go down like that and then go around. Then here, jump to the left, because it's not been completely confirmed, but there's some assumption about how to go faster on the rails that we have. Number one being that grinding on the rail is faster than jumping. And then number two being that being on the inner rail is faster than being on the outer rail. So we typically try to jump as little as possible and stay on the inner rail if possible. Again, that hasn't been timed, but I think that those are reasonable assumptions. And here, destroy the... I'm not here to kill that guy. Can be annoying sometimes. And here, you should only take like 1 or 2 points of damage usually. I didn't take damage there at all, which is very uncommon. And smack that guy, deadeye this guy, keep running. you only ever take like at most 1 point of damage from those spiders. And here, you can just run straight across. Usually you take 1 point of damage there. I didn't take any damage there at all. I took like no damage this entire section. It's kinda crazy, honestly. But yeah, it's usually never a problem. At most, I usually come out like half health, which is fine for this next section. You don't really need more than half health. If you have less than that, you might have to be a bit scared, but it is possible to make it through the next section only taking 1 point of damage. So yeah, jump left here, so I don't need to jump left, and then jump left afterwards. Again, part of that assumption might not be fully correct. Then here, you're gonna roll forward a bit, so that these guys can spawn. These two are the ones you want to be dead-eyeing. This last guy is always gonna be blocked by the bull, but it's fine. So you just put a shot into him afterwards. And that guy doesn't really mess you up, so you can just keep running. And then this guy you shoot, and then you dead-eye this lock. I used to go on the right side here, but I recommend going on the left side. Since it's an inner rail, that's a nice thing. Though mainly because I used to think that using this curve from the right side is better, but I feel like using this curve to hit... Okay, I did it really poorly there, but you can use the curve very well to easily pan over all of the locks almost immediately if you do it right. And it's a really nice optimization. Since Deadeye makes everything go slower. Yeah, I'm gonna see you back in the hideout. So, if you got a 100 loot, a 100 coin loot in Paris, if you're doing full game, then you're gonna want to buy a rail sprint here. This current route, it might be a bit updated with the potential of getting the blue belt buckle, as I mentioned, for potential routing, but typically, and by current routes, that's what you're gonna do if you get that 100 loot in Paris. Otherwise you just press X and keep going. This is about 5 seconds to buy here. But you're gonna be gaining all of that time back in time save from rail sprint, which is nice. So once again you're gonna be running up left out of the hideout, and then you're gonna be going to right here. Use the rails here as usual, and then go on the left side here, and then jump over to this rail. If you have a rail sprint, use it here. If not, just double jump. Then jump over to this, and that is one of the situations where getting a first frame jump is actually beneficial. I've talked about it as a hindrance before, where it just straight up gives you no height instead of a jump, but you want to get off that thing as fast as possible. So if you get that first frame jump off of it, then you save a little bit of time there. And like most of the time where it will just straight up mess you up and make you fall into a pit or something. Or lose time in some way. But yeah, coming into this saloon here, you're gonna be skipping a cutscene. And then immediately you're gonna be greeted by a tutorial that you're gonna be skipping by restarting the checkpoint. And here you're gonna want to be staying in the middle here as much as possible, just so that on average you have to move as little as possible between the bulls. It's RNG where they pop up, and how many drinks they want as well as RNG. Getting them very far to the side now, but oh my god, that was lucky. I straight up just pressed X to leave. And it kinda worked still. I'm totally just a psychic who can know exactly where they will pop up. Yes, it was totally not luck. But yeah, here, instead of going around here as intentional, we're gonna be paragliding down to this section, and then moving over here, and we're gonna be slope jumping up this generator here. double jumping and paraglide twice there, flashing it, and you should land on top here if you do it right. And then we're gonna be jumping up here, paragliding over, and then smacking this sign, skipping most of that intersection. And so here, after skipping the cutscene, we're gonna be running over, paragliding a bit so that guy doesn't mess you up. And there can sometimes be a guy in this state I ran across here, like right here, that you might have to jump up on the casino for a moment to deal with. Then here, as you notice, there was a trigger here that you need to activate. And then after that, we're gonna be skipping all of this above here and just run straight over to this roulette here. Go on top here, the double jumping, and then we're going to be double jump paragliding over up there and hit the trigger. Here, skipping the cutscene is a little bit faster. And then I didn't talk about it last time that we used the RC card, but if you look under the health, you can see a yellow bar, and that's how much boost you have. And as you can see from how I'm using it, I'm almost depleting it every time I'm using it, but then I stop using it right before it fully depletes, because if you fully deplete it, then it will take longer to recharge. And here, try to kill all the spiders. They can be annoying. I know I'm losing a bit of time here to do it, but oh well. Usually I don't lose that much time to do it. So yeah, sometimes it might not be fully worth to do it, but I feel like typically it's more worth to go out of your way to kill the spiders than not. Because those spiders usually hack me up by hitting me from behind if I don't kill them. You're noticing here that if you die, your boost will recharge a lot faster, and I should not have boosted there. Yeah, that's a thing if you die. It actually happens in full game that even though we don't die for the event section in EP5 Operation, it will still give us the fast recharge for some reason. I haven't figured out why. That could be something to look into. See if we can get the fast recharge for the other RC car sections. Yeah. Just gonna go past here. If you're fast enough, you can get past this cycle without having to damage abuse through. If the lasers are in a cycle where they'll hit you, just damage abuse through them, and you can just use the iframes to go straight past it. No reason to worry about that. But yeah, here's a very long cutscene, so I'm gonna be meeting you back in the hideout. Alright, so coming back from the job here, you're gonna just press X, go into blind date. Nothing special that you're gonna do here in episode runs or full game. And then, as pretty much every job, there's one jump where we don't do that, but pretty much every job here, you go up left immediately out of the hideouts. And this time, just like in Cooper for Hire, where we're gonna be continuing up left, we're gonna instead use this rail here, so double jump across, go into the cutscene, skip the cinematic, then just run straight forward and spiral dive down to avoid the bad landing. Can be running around here using the card to get up faster. And here you can spam circle early and go straight in. So this job is almost entirely an auto-scroller, but there are sections where you need to move between one checkpoint to another, and the faster you do it, the faster you will initiate the auto-scroller section. So you can hit these if you want on the side, it doesn't really matter, there's no checkpoint here, you need to hit them time. Here for this first one, it takes a while before it allows you to jump on top of the rails, so run forward a bit first, and then drop on the left one. get fast into this checkpoint right here, and then now we're in a auto scroller until this cart decides to come out, which is always a set amount of time. Make sure you try and kill them as fast as possible so they don't keep throwing dynamite. The dynamites are really annoying to deal with because for the life of him, Tennessee just cannot auto-target them. Attempted, it's basically impossible. So just kill them immediately, because otherwise you're gonna be very screwed. If they just throw a ton of dynamites on you. And then here, try to shoot these as fast as possible, so you can go straight to the next point here. Specifically here there was no checkpoint, so between here and here you don't actually lose time. But between here and this next place here, you're gonna be hitting a new checkpoint right here, so make sure you hit that as fast as possible. And once again, try to kill these guards. Let them stay alive too long and keep tossing dynamite. Hard to avoid in some cases. In one case I got sniped while going on the rail away from one of these fights. So just make sure that you try to kill them as fast as possible so they can't heck you up later. It's not always completely possible to do it, but try as best you can at least. Then here, hit these as fast as possible. You can't hit the valves immediately, but you can hit the TNT barrels. No! That has happened before. That is the exact snipe I talked about, even. Yeah. If you die there, I still hit the checkpoint, right? So I can just go here. I don't need to do that section again. But dying here is kind of bad. It's a section where you shouldn't like ever lose more than 2 seconds. So dying can be a pain. Then we are greeted by probably the longest cutscene in this episode. This episode has a lot of long cutscenes, so I'm gonna be meeting you at the end of this one. So coming out of this cutscene here, you're going to come into jailbreak. If you're doing full game and you got either the 200 loot or the 500 loot, you're going to be buying rail sprint and auto fire here. Otherwise just press X and continue. One thing to note, if you do buy here, is that I forgot to unmute. Nice. Make sure that you keep in mind that since you are buying something that you need to equip, you're gonna get a text box immediately upon leaving the safe house. That you need to press X to cancel. You're just gonna be jumping over to this rail here, making your way around town, running over this house here, and then here you're not gonna be spiral diving or anything. We're just gonna take the bad landing because you don't need to move after the landing anyways. You're gonna land in the job trigger, and we have yet another long cutscene. Whoa! So I'm gonna meet you at the end of it. All right, so coming out of this load here, you're gonna be greeted by a cutscene that you want to skip. And then right here, if you bought autofire, you're gonna equip it and you're gonna be using it in this job. This job has most of the time save of autofire, so make sure you make the best out of it. Even though this job has the most of all the time save you're gonna get from autofire, you don't actually make up the time that it took to buy in this job. Still lose time in this specific job, but overall it still saves a tiny bit of time at least. Considering how cheap it is, it saves a decent chunk of time, at least in relation to what a lot of Slide 4 gadgets save in here. It's RNG where they'll spawn, so just start firing in one direction and hope that that's where they spawn. And then you can adjust when you see them spawn. They're gonna spawn in the order of like when you kill them. So keep that in mind. Then here we're gonna be skipping the cutscene. And right out of the cutscene here, rather than going up like intended, we're gonna be going around here. Double jump, double jump, spire jump over here. And we're going to be doing this section backwards, going down this or up this rope that is supposed to go down afterwards, and skip the entire guard section there. That could be a bit slow. Skip that cinematic. And then now go back down the rope. And then here, when the fight initiates, that's when you can start hitting this wall. But the jackalopes don't immediately spawn. They take a tiny bit longer than when it initiates. So make sure you first start hitting the wall. You optimize it a little bit. It's gonna be 3 jackalopes that spawn from each position. So 3 from top left, 2 from top right, and 3 from bottom on each side. And for this one, unfortunately there's no big skip like the other section. You can actually make it up the same rail in the same way, but you need to rail slide on this somehow, but it's chain triggered. You need to hit the lever before this has an hitbox, so you can't actually use it to go backwards. However, there is still a little bit of a skip here, and it's actually harder than the one in the other section. So you're gonna jump off on this section of the boat. You're gonna go for it. Jump up on this rail, and from there, I overshot it a bit, but jump up on this pole like that, and then you're gonna be jumping back onto this section. It's a little bit faster, but it's very hard, so I don't suggest going for it immediately. And if you're running correctly here, I didn't run correctly, so I'm gonna wait for a moment. But if you run correctly, I kind of lost it recently, so I don't really do it right anymore. But you can actually manipulate those guards, like how they shoot and shit, so that they don't hit you when you go there. You can just immediately dead-eye and keep going. I need to get back in the hang of exactly how to turn that corner and shit to manipulate them. But if you look at my older runs, you can see that I did it correctly. At least some of my older runs. I don't know if I did it in all of mine. This last section, we're just going to be going through this auto-scroller for a bit. Kill those guards so they don't annoy you. Take care of those last TNT barrels. And then right here we're going to be greeted by a cutscene. And then right after the load from skipping cinematic, hold R2 and aim for that and immediately shoot off. And once again, skip cinematic, and once again in the load, hold R2, and this time we're gonna be hitting 2 of them, like that. Run straight across, not gonna be hit. Take safety here, hit those 2, and then you can do whatever. Just stand here, you're not gonna die. And just like that, we're in one of the longest cutscenes in this episode, so gonna meet you at the end when we're back in the hideout. So coming back into the hideout here, you're gonna be greeted by an animated cutscene. Just press circle to skip it, and then select Murray. And this is gonna be the one job in this entire episode where we're not going to be holding up left, going out of the hideout. Instead, we're gonna hold straight left. Murray can unfortunately not slide on the rails, so we don't have that option for making our way to the left side here. Otherwise that would probably be faster. At least a little bit. Then you make your way over here, up into this cutscene, and this is another Bentley PowerPoint. So do not, under any circumstances, press start there. Press circle to skip it. Do not press start to try and skip cutscene like this. It's a consistent hard lock. Don't do it. I've mentioned this a lot now. I'm gonna continue to mention it. I don't want you guys to be hard blocking from something completely preventable like that. Here, go to one of the sides, pick up a guard, throw it at the other one. And here, we got nice spawns. It's gonna be determined from the very beginning. If they don't spawn in correctly in the beginning, you're gonna have to kind of deal with it and see which ones you can want to be going towards and throwing. But if you get both two sets of guards to spawn in correctly, they're gonna... never mind. I've never had that situation. They usually spawn consistently, but it went differently. Alright, just... if something like that happens, adapt. The RNG can be weird there. And in here, struggled with this casually a bit, but you just want to be spamming square. No real strategy needed, just spam square. It does a lot less damage than it felt like casually. And then you're gonna have two cutscenes here. You're gonna have that between every event in this job. This job is like 7 minutes longer or something with cutscenes, and this is like a 5-minute job. To put into perspective how long these cutscenes we're skipping are. It's kind of insane. Yeah, here. Throughout this entire race, even though you have these checkpoints you need to get to in a certain amount of time, that's not actually saving checkpoints. If you die, you end up all the way back at the beginning. So make sure you don't die. And also, that spotlight. As I've mentioned earlier, spotlights are merely a suggestion in this game, for the most part. And that is one of them. And here, try to avoid chameleons. Can be in a bit random locations. And they'll slow you down. And of course stay away from these dynamite spots. See, if you have to take in an optimal path because it spawns, do it. You don't want to die. It's much better to do a slightly unoptimal path than to die. I didn't get any dynamite that hacked me there. I had like 4 times in a row in my first attempt at this got the dynamite that hacked me in this section. It's really annoying. I've never had it be that bad before. But yes, here you're gonna get these balls as fast as possible. For the beginning, they are the only ones to spawn that you can hit for points. And then once these coyotes spawn, you're gonna want to chain them in this left corner here. The moment you kill one of these signs, another one of the same type will immediately spawn. And these coyotes always spawn on the left side, so you can just chain those 5-pointers on the side there. Then I missed the buzzard, but you can get the buzzard as well when it comes around to get a lot of points. And yeah, that's Grand Key Larceny. So coming back into the hideout, nothing special, just select Sly, regardless of whether you're doing episode runs or full game. And then in this job we're gonna go back to running straight up left out of the hideout, unlike what we did for Grand Key Larceny. And we're gonna be using the train tracks again. So go over here, land on this right train track, and then jump off here. Train tracks go very far around, so it's not actually worth it to follow the train tracks all the way. Instead we're just gonna go back into the train tracks here and let it slide us all the way over to the job trigger over here. Jump off, and once again, PowerPoint from Bentley, do not press start, do not do it, do not attempt to skip cinematic, it's a consistent hard lock, press circle. That's how you skip it. I don't know how much I'll do it. I'll continue to do it to make sure that you do not do that hard lock. I've done it once, I don't want to do it again, and I don't want you guys to be doing it. So here, you want to throw it like that, on the side, to try and get as many as possible. I tried to be a bit sneaky there by getting both sections. Usually the guards will hack you, like they're now, so that you can't do this in 2 throws. So just don't try to go for it, like I did there. Just straight up go for getting 3 throws. So one that you get both barrels on the right side, and then one for each barrel on the other. But here, try to hold down left. I didn't do it for long enough. It's a bit hard to do, but you want to kill this guy with the TNT barrel that was up here. It's faster. But as you're gonna notice, it's hard to avoid the auto aim from going there. And then here, you're gonna want to throw the bomb, then immediately go into the hack. So this is another one of these shooter hacks that is just a big auto scroller until the very end, so I'm gonna be meeting you at the end of it. Alright, so now we're at the end with the boss. Just like back in Something's Fishy, we can one-cycle this boss by being in the center, trying to burst him down, and then I went back a bit too much there. And this is another thing to notice with this boss. Unlike the last one, if you don't get him, he will be doing an attack immediately the next cycle. So you'll be losing a lot more time from failing to do the one cycle than you will in every other shooter hack. So make sure you stand in the correct position to get the one cycle. A lot closer, such as I did in my episode 1 tutorial. And then here we're gonna be skipping the cutscene, and we're gonna be running up left, jump over to the side, jump out here, hit that trigger, jump over here, shoot those things so you can shoot the laser lock, then shoot that, and if you want to you can go for this cycle. It's not as bad as it looks, but it is a bit tight. I've actually seen that if you jump here and get spotted but you can't make this light cycle, you can actually still stay alive. Otherwise, if that's a bit scary for you, you can just wait for this spotlight cycle to go past and then go. There's a bit of time, but it's an option. Another option I want to show that is theoretically faster, but for some reasons that you're gonna be noticing, if you don't immediately go to the checkpoint here and restart checkpoint like I've done now, but instead do it organically, like you're going immediately from the start here, you're gonna be noticing why this is such a problematic strat. But yeah, at least the beginning part here is just pure skill, so it's a trick called Mysterious Reflexes. Basically what it's gonna entail, we're gonna spire jump in a way that we get blocked by this wall, and then use that to kind of land so that we can double jump from a point that is much higher than where we stand now. So you're gonna want to double jump, spire jump to the side here, towards this railing, like upright, and then you're gonna want to afterwards spam X up left. So it's gonna look kind of like that, except you're gonna make your way up to this pile, or whatever you want to call it. So the reason why it's not organic right now, since I hit this checkpoint and then restarted checkpoint, but if you come in here organically, there's gonna be a lot of bats here, and they can bring away your focus. Like, Tennessee will auto aim on them, unfortunately. So they are quite annoying, and there is a spot there. I don't know exactly how, but it happened in my other attempt of this tutorial where you just straight up die. It hasn't happened before I attempted these tutorials, by the way, but apparently it's a thing, so don't go into that spot, and don't also fall down. I would ideally show exactly why you want to go up here, if I can actually pull off this strat. There we go, got back up. So here, I like to go out here, then line up my shot a little bit, like that. Fire there. It's like kind of a marking here on the left side that I use for my aiming there. It's very tight to aim at that target, so that's part of why this is such a hard strat. The other part is the bats, so that not only do you have to aim very precisely, but these bats will bring away your aim from the target. So it's not actually RTA viable from what I've tested. The fastest I've ever done this strat, it was 4 seconds slower than doing what I did as an option before. But that was with the bats bringing away my aim a lot. So if you can manage to still very quickly hit this target, it's going to be faster than going normally through here, like I showed before. But then here, I'm just gonna deadeye these locks, and then skip cinematic and continue the run. And then here, you need to like hold a little bit down right and then up right to climb correctly. Then if you can, I didn't do it as I wanted to there, so it looked kind of awkward. I'm actually gonna see if I can retry it. Like that. Didn't wait enough for the second jump, but you can jump straight over here, so you don't need to use those. It's kind of slow to use those. And then you keep going. Since I waited a bit, the cycles are a little bit off. This spotlight cycle should be going towards here, not back around, but it's still gonna work out. It's not gonna hack me. You can just hit that target. Need to wait a little bit here. Then make your way over here. You can actually do that same mysterious reflex strat, by the way, in this section. But the problem is, you can't seem to find a way from that spot to hit this target because of the box that was here. And even if you could, you still need to go in this very linear path. It's a lot more linear than the previous section. So it's not ever going to be worth it to do that strat in this cart. It's only in the first cart where it's realistically something that could save time. But by realistically I mean very, very unrealistic. Like very, very hard. And that's also a section where it's kind of finicky how you need to move around there. You can figure out over time exactly how to hold. You skip the cutscene here, and then you want to hit L2 as fast as possible to go into the costume. It takes a while before you can do it, but then eventually, like that, press R2. And then here, you go immediately out of the costume upon hitting that target, which is nice. since the costume is very slow, as I've mentioned. So we can run around like that. So one thing to note for this large section here, he's gonna be going towards where you're looking, and he's gonna be doing it at the speed, like as far away as the speed you're going. So if you're running and looking in a direction and then start going in a completely different direction, he's gonna be running completely wrong. And here, there's only 2 tornadoes in the first cycle, so make sure you stay kind of close. And then this time, we're gonna be running straight to the left. We're gonna be doing that for the third one as well. Over here, go out of the costume, back in here, hit the second one, and then hit the third one, just like that. And once again, in this big section, you can debate him, so he's not annoying. This is definitely how this boss fight was intended to be played. Yes. And then here, it's gonna be 3 tornadoes this time. It's gonna be so in the last section as well. And it takes a little bit to stop that spin, so you can wait before you go close. I went close a bit, like way early. Didn't mean to go that close. Then you go left again. One thing to note with these dynamite is they will hit you in the opposite direction of where you're going. So you saw me run in the opposite direction of where I'm supposed to go. It was so that the dynamite would burst me away instead of burst me backwards. If I started to run away there, I was in a position where I would be hit by the dynamite no matter what I did. So I made sure I was running in the opposite direction I was wanted to go, so that the dynamite would burst me in the direction that I wanted to go, rather than away from it and make me lose a lot more time. Then here, 3 tornadoes, as I mentioned. And then just hit last part here, and then when you split inside it's there. When it fades black, for episode runs, and for just the community summer best in general. And then here for full game, there's gonna be a very long cutscene here, so you can do whatever you want for the main part here, and then I'm gonna meet you when we do the next inputs. Alright, so as usual, there's gonna be 2 animated cinematics once this job is done, that you're gonna be greeted by. And then for the start of episode 3 here, it's not any special menus or anything, you just press X immediately. Then we're gonna be going through episode 3 in the next episode of this tutorial. So hopefully you found this useful. Thank you for watching.